Well, we're here. Yes, we managed to get in here. And without actually any of these noodles interfering, I know that you're there. Say hello, Mark, quickly.
Hello, why aren't I there?
Say hello, Gazelle.
I'm not here.
Well, I'm not there neither.
Well. Okay, quick introduction. All right, so I'm just going to say, welcome, patriots and tea-drinking truth seekers, to Rule Britannia Unleashed. Is it really unleashed? This is the only podcast brave enough to say what everyone's thinking while dodging the woke police. I'm your host, the absolutely fabulous Jonathan No-Nonsense Starkey, AbFab, here to dissect with my very good friends the absolute circus that is Britain in April 2025. Taxes are up, wallets are weeping, and illegal migrants are apparently throwing parties on TikTok to celebrate our soft-touch borders. Let's all say cheers to the Home Office. Cheers there, people. Meanwhile, Prince Andrew's ex is dropping bombshells juicier than a Sunday roast, and across the pond, Trump's eyeing us up for tariffs like we're a bargain bin at Aldi. We are. So grab your pint, stiffen that upper lip, and let's take back control, one rant at a time. So let's get right in with the guys. Are you ready? Here we go. And the breaking news is there. There you go. Something for you, Trevor.
What's the breaking news today, then?
Yes. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, on this Monday night. Or is it Tuesday? Or is it Wednesday? If somebody could clarify for me, please. Thank you.
There you go.
Welcome.
The Gazelle has opted against the gastric band surgery, opting for fat as it comes.
I keep forgetting about that. They come first, just like MAGA.
There you go.
Right, great again. I'll get it.
I'm telling you. Look at that.
Water again. No, this is. But it's nice water. It's blackcurrant.
Oh, blackcurrant water.
Fab breaks down everything. It's difficult being right all the time. Yeah, you're right there. Yeah. Well, I don't like saying you're right, but you're right on that one. That's man gains millions more followers by telling lies. Like Starmer admits cycle lanes. Might be a good thing. Don't mention cycle lanes in Chester.
Oh, why? Is it bad?
And bus lanes. Sorry, cycle lanes, bus lanes, all the lot. They just... they are. Fancy that coming up. Karen Shaw now pledges to make everyone's life in Runcorn and Elsbeth better than the rest of the UK. Well, she will, because hopefully she won't go around punching people. I don't know, looking at her.
I do. She might.
Hope she doesn't. That's the hope she
behaves. Looks like she could throw her right with no problem. With absolutely no problem whatsoever.
There's been a big group out there this weekend, gentlemen. There's been a big group of, what's it called? I can't remember it now. It's Stop Racism anyway. And they're all walking around with reform leaflets. We've got to stop racism.
Really? Where's the racism?
I think that's a slur in itself.
In the tiny little minds.
Say no to racism. SNT. I couldn't work it out then. Say no to racism. It's a group that are... I'd even put them down as they're either Momentum or whatever, another group of far lefties. They're either Momentum or the other bunch of...
Oh, stand up to racism. I know them well, yeah.
Yeah, stand up to racism.
I've been there, and they've called... I've been stood with a gay Jew and a Sikh in military uniform, and they called us Nazis, apparently. So make that one make sense.
I was going to say, work that one out. I mean, they were actually... You've got the Green candidate who's standing... for the Greens.
The Green candidate who's standing for the Greens. Is that right, Trevor?
He stood there proudly holding this Reform Our Racist leaflet and stop at racism within Runcorn. Don't vote for reform. Is that not inciting violence?
Just Aren't they doing a bit of a rubbish job of being racist though, Trev? Because isn't their chairman Brown and stuff?
Yeah, but
it's not very good racism, that is it? You know, and that's not a good start, is it, to the racism?
Yeah, well, I mean, but I only noticed it the other week. There's about 20 of them or something like that, but one of them was this Green Party candidate, and I thought that's not very good. That calling another party racist, whether they are or not. I mean, one of the comments was, it takes one to know one. And I thought, well, don't start shouting that from the rooftops. You know what I mean? It takes one to know one because that means you are. So I wouldn't shout that one too loud.
No,
But anyway, there we go.
I don't know. I think there's something wrong with these people.
Well, there is something wrong with it. I mean, they probably they've already stopped. What is it? Stop oil now. They've packed in, so it might be a bunch of them got no do on a Sunday or something. You know, you don't know, do you?
Today isn't Sunday. All right. Yeah. Anyway, okay. Well, let's kick off. I mean, Mark, you're going to open up these things. The tariffs. That's the biggie. Okay. Just give us a quick introduction, and then I'm just going to play some videos, to give us a sum up of what's going on. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think some people in these videos are going to explain this, but I think what everyone's missing, rather than all this, it's Armageddon, the usual nonsense the media. The reasons for the tariffs, right? It's leverage to reduce unfair tariffs around the world. Mm-hmm. Obviously, they want to bring back production to the US, which kind of makes sense. And they've got to raise money because their debt is 36 trillion.
Right.
So when you think about that, there's lots of interest on the debt too, isn't there?
Yeah.
And this could all work out quite well because the debt's obviously determined by the rate, which is affected by the bonds, which is what everyone moves to when there's problems, when the markets are down. And if everyone buys the bonds, the yield comes down, and then so does the cost of servicing the debt. If you look at it, the Treasury in America are looking at auctioning 10 trillion of debt this year. So if that's got a 5% interest rate, that's going to cost 500 billion annually just to service that debt.
Yeah. So
I think that needs fixing. And the problem is Trump's trying to point out why he's doing this.
Yeah,
You've got surplus economies like the likes of China and Japan and Germany, who are basically just taking the mick. China are doing things like engaging in unfair competition, they're suppressing wages, they're subsidizing their manufacturing sectors. And what this does is it means they produce more goods than their workers can actually buy. So then they've got a surplus to sell. So then in effect, the country's buying the surplus and then subsidizing the stuff for them. And do you know what? I think possibly the UK and France should probably be getting in on this with America because we're deficit economies and we've got people taking the mick out of us too. But they do other things like they'll give cheap energy to their own businesses and then they'll do cheaper interest rates and then they'll manipulate the currency.
Yeah, I get
all this stuff. And Trump's just had enough. But the media, they're just, you know what they're like. It's Armageddon. Trump's a bad man. He's destroyed the world. They're just lacking some.
Well, I mean, the stock market has plummeted. I mean, it's absolutely nosedived, hasn't it?
But that's not Trump's fault, though, is it?
Well, it's only happened since Trump's announced his tariffs.
Some of them are correcting themselves. They go up and down anyway.
Yeah.
Well, they go up and down, but they certainly don't go down 5 points in one day. I'm sorry. I don't agree with that. Anyway, that's nothing, that. I mean, that's only just, I don't know, that's only a blip, that. And on a smaller scale, what we're doing in Warrington, we're joining this place called Cheshire East and West. So all we're doing is we're just diluting our 2 billion.
Spreading it about a bit.
Gets rid of our debt. Anyway, brings us down to probably about half a billion by the time we finish getting offloading a load of it to you. So there we go.
Well, without a shadow of a doubt. Let's go back a little while, right? And let's have a listen to what Trump said, okay? And I wonder if we can bring it on. This is him going back he was being interviewed by Oprah Winfrey. Right, have a listen to this.
You took out a full-page ad in major U.S. newspapers last year criticizing U.S. foreign policy. What would you do differently, Donald?
I'd make our allies, forgetting about the enemies you can't talk to so easily, I'd make our allies pay their fair share. We're a debtor nation. Something's going to happen over the next number of years with this country because you can't keep going on losing $200 billion, and yet we let Japan come in and dump everything right into our markets and everything. It's not free trade. If you ever go to Japan right now and try to sell something, forget about it, Oprah. Just forget about it. It's almost impossible. They don't have laws against it. They just make it impossible. They come over here, they sell their cars, their VCRs, they knock the hell out of our companies. And, hey, I have tremendous respect for the Japanese people. I mean, you can respect somebody that's beating the hell out of you, but they are beating the hell out of this country. Kuwait, they live like kings. The poorest person in Kuwait, they live like kings. And yet they're not paying. We make it possible for them to sell their oil. Why aren't they paying us 25% of what they're making? It's a joke.
Have you noticed that his hairstyle is no different back then? I mean, look at him. I mean, obviously he's a lot thinner and the rest of it. But he hasn't really changed, hasn't he? I don't think so anyway. I think he looks exactly the same. But
Well,
listen,
that is some years ago, that.
yeah, listen to what he's saying, though.
Nice.
I mean, back all those years. I mean, that guy is true to his word. Do you want to hear a little bit more of it?
They're still doing it now, though, aren't they?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They'll charge America massive tariffs, and then they're just dumping their stuff everywhere, left, right, and centre on the cheap.
Yep, absolutely. Do you want to hear a little bit more?
It's not fair.
Yeah, go on. Let's listen to it.
This sounds like political presidential talk to me, and I know people have talked to you about whether or not you want to run. Would you ever?
Probably not. But I do get tired of seeing the country ripped off.
Why would you not?
I just don't think I really have the inclination to do it. I love what I'm doing. I really like it.
Also, it doesn't pay as well.
No, it doesn't. But, I just probably wouldn't do it, Oprah. I probably wouldn't, but I do get tired of seeing what's happening with this country. And if it got so bad, I would never want to rule it out totally, because I really am tired of seeing what's happening with this country, how we're really making other people live like kings, and we're not.
What do you think of this year's presidential race, the way it's shaping up?
Well, it's going to be...
See what I mean?
Well, that was interesting.
He's got a point, though, because inequality across the world obviously decreased, but in the developing nations like America and ours, it's increased.
Yeah.
It's just... And the funny thing is they were all on board with this. They all used to love Trump.
Yeah.
And now they've all changed. And I'm pretty sure the left, especially the Democrats in America, didn't they want to raise corporation taxes?
Yeah.
Yet now they're moaning about businesses having to pay more.
Well, the whole
They're
thing...
an absolute mess.
I can't get over it. I mean, basically, all Trump is doing is he's ending the free lunch for the rest of the world. And he's not even putting on the same tariffs of what other countries are putting on him, on America. I don't understand. I really don't understand. And now Starmer has now decided that globalism is finished. That's it.
The only one, is he?
He's kicking the weffers out. Okay? They're gone.
Yeah, of course he is.
That's what he says. Look, Trump exposes literally everyone, doesn't he?
Yeah.
All the time.
Oh, yeah.
He's just shown these lot up to be absolutely bonkers.
Well, do you think Starmer is saying it just basically as a warning to the rest of the lefties throughout the world? Look, let's just play along, let's just play along with it. And he's already coming out, because he doesn't want to see the tariffs on this country. It's as simple as that. So he's just like sort of, would you trust this guy at all?
Nope.
Would you trust him, Trevor?
Trust?
Yeah,
What,
Starmer. Yeah.
No, I'll trust him. I'll trust me as far as I can spit him. Let alone throw him. The bloke's a lying, conniving, twisted son.
Well,
I can't think of anything where he hasn't lied.
Well, I can tell you now there's a full list of it. I mean, he promised that he wasn't going to cut welfare from the disabled.
I don't even want to talk about the bloke. I'm just literally... I mean, I never, ever wish away my life, but I just can't wait till that bloke's gone. Yeah.
Well,
one way or another.
Trev, do you struggle to listen to him? Do you struggle to listen to him? Because I can't for longer than about 5 or 10 seconds.
No, Matt, I can't.
No,
Matt. Dog with a hair lip.
It is in your brain. It makes your brain hurt and you want to go...
Yeah, I mean, I have to do as far as I can to basically keep up to pace with the idiot.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, I have to do it for my politics, but I can't stand the bloke. No, I just cannot watch him on the TV. I can't listen to the fella on the radio. I can't remember being like this before.
Well,
he said people that annoy you a little bit, don't you? I mean, John Major, he was a bit boring, but I mean, Starmer, I just don't know what it is with him.
It annoys me a bit like the gazelle with his diet.
Oh, tell you, I mean, he's doing well at the minute, It's falling like.
It's all falling off, is it?
It's falling off. He's falling like Labour's vote fall. It is. That's
it is
collapsing.
Well, I have to tell you that after reading some of the local social media, I do believe that our friend Mr. Manders is having a very, very difficult time out there.
Well, it comes to those, doesn't it? I was looking at the results for the St. Helens thing the other night, the by-election one they had.
St. Helens Glass has the class.
Well,
I'm voting for St. Helens Glass.
Yeah, that's
if they're still around.
Terms, isn't it? St. Helens glass has a class. Anyway, yeah. So they had in Sutton. It was in Sutton in St. Helens, and they were raving. It's 49% reform rate home and blah, 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 all these massive statistics. It was 406 votes. You know, that they were the most. But anyway, but it was. I mean, all right, percentage, all right. It was. Let them have the bit. But anyway, it was a Lib Dem seat and it collapsed. And what amazed me was that it was the Lib Dems and the Conservatives that lost the vote. Labour maintained the vote; they stayed the same. But
that's because they only maintain that small percentage. That's all they're bothered about. That's why they go for the Muslim vote.
I know the tribal stuff. I know all this, and me granny voted, and me granddad voted.
Oh, that's gone.
I know all that, but look, there must be pensioners on that particular ward, that particular constituency. There must be pensioners that have been punished. There must be. I mean,
they
farmers,
betrayed.
I don't know.
They betrayed them. That's another lie. He betrayed the pensioners. He betrayed the WASPy women.
And the WASPy women. Yeah, the WASPy women. So there must be them on that ward, and yet they still vote Labour.
He said he was going to cut your energy bills. What's happened?
This is the problem with the left. They really don't understand anything.
They're liars.
It's like anyone who tries to make anything better, they take no notice. Absolutely no notice whatsoever. They're looking at Starmer, he's awful, but they're still going to vote for him. You're looking at America, Trump's trying to fix everything, and they're just all attacking him. And it's like, will you people just grow something?
Well, here's what Trump has actually said. Here's what he's commented on, right? You ready?
They're so frustrating, though, aren't
We're
they?
talking to the Prime Minister about it.
Yeah.
And we'll see how that turns out. We have a very good dialogue going. And I think he was very happy about how we treated them on tariffs. To all of the foreign presidents, prime ministers, kings, queens, ambassadors, and everyone else who will soon be calling to ask for exemptions from these tariffs, I say,
and it took them 2 days.
Terminate your own tariffs, drop your barriers, don't manipulate your currencies. They manipulate their currencies like nobody can even believe, which is a bad, bad thing and very devastating to us. And start buying tens of billions of dollars of American goods. Tariffs give our country protection against those that would do us economic harm. And many people were looking to do us economic harm. Maybe not so obviously, but they were doing tremendous economic harm. But even more importantly, they will give us growth. These tariffs are going to give us growth like you haven't seen before. And it'll be something very special to watch. I am so looking forward. And Brian, it's going to happen even faster than you said. You know, you might say, but it's already started. It's already started.
Well, there you go. So, you know, I mean, what can I say about that? You know, he's doing it.
If it was as simple as that, why is it not done before?
Well, because the Democrats wanted to keep the gravy train rolling. Rolling.
It's not a simple thing he's doing, and it is risky.
Oh, yeah.
But it's looking like it might be starting to pay off. There's about 50 countries now who've picked up the phone and gone, Donald, please help.
Oh, they're all going nuts. Okay, here's Rubio's take on it.
Well, you would, wouldn't you? Especially Starmer was at a car factory or something, and they've probably said, look, mate, 25% tariffs, like you are.
Yeah.
Like, right, it's all right, I'll go.
Yeah, but only about Jaguar Range Rover, aren't they?
Yeah.
But I mean, is Jaguar Range Rover still British? Could you educate me on that?
No,
one?
it isn't. It isn't British.
Why are we bailing them out then?
Because we're stupid. I mean, this is why Starmer is trying to sound like Trump now by taking economic policies and looking at them from a nationalist point of view rather than a globalist point of view. Here's Rubio's take on it. You ready?
The markets will adjust. Businesses around the world, including in trade and global trade, they just need to know what the rules are. Once they know what the rules are, they will adjust to those rules. So I don't think it's fair to say economies are crashing. Markets are crashing because markets are based on the stock value of companies who today are embedded in modes of production that are bad for the United States. We're the largest consumer market in the world, and yet the only thing we export is services. And we need to stop that. We need to get back to a time where we're a country that can make things. And to do that, we have to reset the global order of trade. So the worst thing is to leave it the way it is forever. I mean, this just can't continue. We can't continue to be a country that doesn't make things. We have to be able to make things to provide jobs for Americans. The president rightly has concluded that the current status of global trade is bad for America and good for a bunch of other people, and he's going to reset it, and he's absolutely right to do it.
There you go. So, why aren't we taking that attitude? Because all we sell around the world is services. Tell me what we make. And here we have Starmer coming on and saying, oh, well, we've got all these people that are playing down, our manufacturing. Well, okay, tell us what it is. Tell us how much of Chinese goods that we bring in. I mean, nearly everybody that I know, out there, they're selling on eBay, they're getting stuff in, they're buying it in from China, or they're getting it manufactured there, and then they're bringing it in. And I don't know, what, is Starmer going to start putting tariffs on China? I don't know. And China...
How many times have I said you put it down to our age group because we've experienced it. Why have we not got apprenticeships? Why are we not building anymore? Why have we not got steelworks? Why have we not got car plants? We've got car plants, but they're all owned by sodding foreigners.
Yeah.
That's why I've just asked you about Jaguar Land Rover, because I wasn't quite sure about it. Mm-hmm. There is nothing in this country that's flaming British. Start building again. I can't go against anything there that Trump says.
Yeah.
Well,
absolutely.
that Rubio says, apparently. Sorry. I mean, you can't go against that. Let's start building again. Let's get our industries again. How many times have we said this?
Well, we
can't do anything, can we?
Well, that's it. What was the Industrial Revolution?
Vague, distant memory, wasn't it?
When we had brilliant engineers.
They're all obsessed with the next revolution's obviously going to be the tech one. It's going to be all this AI and stuff.
Yeah.
But what they're forgetting is we can't even store our own natural gas.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's not get ahead of ourselves and go, well, let's get robots to do everything for us. I tell you what, right? Rather than selling the gas that we get in the summer, why don't we build facilities to store it? Let's be self-sufficient.
Absolutely.
Let's not be relying on other countries in the winter.
Like our solar farm in Warrington. Now we own 2 solar farms down south. So any of the actual energy that we've got, instead of giving it to the people in Warrington, we sell it on the open market to pay off the debt.
Which is not coming down. Which is not coming down.
No, but we go into debt to buy these investments to earn money to pay off the debt. That sounds a cracking idea to me, that.
And all the people that were responsible for those decisions in Warrington, where are they now?
They've gone off with a puff.
Have they?
What was his name?
Or her name.
But they've all gone off with a puff. And now the ones that are in are saying, well, now we've got to look at these investments and we might start selling some of our assets to bring down the investments. Oh, no. Wow. Can't believe that was... I think that's quite unique, that. Nobody's ever thought of that before. Well done, Mr. Mundy.
Believe it or not, okay. I mean, let's play a little bit of Matt Goodwin. And I'm going to show you something now. I mean, Matt Goodwin was given an explanation of the tariffs. And I don't know how much I'm going to play of this, okay? But I tell you what, for these supposed professionals with so much and so many listeners, have a listen to this stuff. The sound is absolutely crap. Listen.
So Donald Trump has just announced tariffs across the world as part of his Liberation Day.
Okay, can you hear that?
Thrown the political debate into
listen to the echo in the background. So I treated it
Donald Trump. But what's this really all about?
With special Cheshire Matters magic audio dust. And listen.
So Donald Trump has just announced tariffs across the world as part of his Liberation Day.
Isn't it?
Now this has obviously thrown the political debate into chaos, with lots of people venting against Donald Trump. But what's this really all about? Look, my take is this. This is more than just one man. This is more than just one president. What the tariffs and Trump too ultimately reflect is an ongoing, increasing opposition to the economic model that has presided over the West since the 1990s, an economic model that we might call hyper-globalization. And what is this economic model? It's rooted in 2 things: economic globalization and cultural globalization. Economic globalization is essentially the deregulation of markets, the liberalization of finance, and forcing nation states to open themselves up to much greater trade competition and supposedly free trade from other parts of the world.
Okay. Right. Now, that's a good point that he's making. I think you have to have a balance between globalist economics, especially within a country, and nationalistic economics. Now, I think Trump is actually making a massive, massive point here, not just about the tariffs, but also about the manipulation of the currencies, because we all know that that goes on. And the next thing that's going to happen is he's not really being that savage with them. I mean, whilst the rest of Europe has had, for example, 20% put on them, this country has had 10%. But even 10% tariffs is driving Rachel Reeves absolutely nuts. She's frightened about it. I mean,
he's just hit China with 50% because they came back with 35, and he's gone, all right, my turn, 50.
That's it.
He's not that bothered. It's China's the main one he's going for with all this.
And
if
China
everyone else steps into line, then they're going to be on their own going, work.
China are absolutely nuts because America is China's biggest market. I mean, that's it, bar none. It was said. Here's a little bit more of what he's saying. Here we go. Hey, do you like the sound on this now? I mean, Matt Goodman should be thanking us, really,
Who is this, man?
Who is it? Can't hear you.
Matt Goodwin, he keeps popping up. I'll tell you what, Mr. Goodwin, you're not getting on my friends list because I don't know who you are yet. I'll give you not until I find out who you are.
Well, he's supposed to be an intelligent guy. Here you go.
Now, when this economic globalization was first advocated in the 1990s by the likes of Bill Clinton, Tony Blair, and lots of international institutions, a global elite, if you like, the argument was that this would lift all boats. But actually, what economic globalization did is it created unfair trade practices, which countries like China exploited. The argument that this would lift all boats was quickly undermined by evidence in economics, by some renegade scholars who showed that actually, in this new era of hyperglobalization, it was the working class in Western states that got absolutely smashed apart as jobs, resources, and basically economic power were redistributed and sent away to developing nations in parts of Asia, Africa, the Middle East, and so on. And the big losers in all of this were Western workers who not only lost their jobs and had their wages squeezed, but as lots of studies have now shown, they were more likely to fall into alcoholism, more likely to fall into drug abuse, their marriages were more likely to break down, and this led to what scholars like Angus Deaton and others called deaths of despair, particularly in former industrial heartlands in places like the Midwest of America, the Rust Belt, and also in the northern England, the Red Wall, and places like northern France, because...
Okay, now, is that true or is that true? I mean, the guy is talking sense there. That's exactly what happened.
A lot of consequences to all this, isn't there?
Yeah. And so I think what Trump is doing is he's realigning things. I think that's what he's doing. And he's causing a massive shift. And all the people that have been making money out of it and taking the Michael out of America, they're the ones that are all moaning, just like the Democrats in America who've lost so much money through Doge. What
not as much as they lost on that. Remember that in the 70s, Pillsbury's dough.
Yeah, Pillsbury Doughboy.
You're done. When you poked his belly, you're done. Mark's looking at me. He's not got a clue what I'm on about.
He doesn't know the Pillsbury Doughboy.
Before sliced bread.
Yeah, Pillsbury dough. When he used to come out the oven and he said, "You're done." He's pressed his belly.
Well, there are. I'll play a little bit more of that, but there are some things attached to it, which I'm going to come to, which will raise another subject here. Here we go.
These workers could no longer compete. So economic globalization basically gutted lots of these communities. And the second key problem with this model was cultural globalization. That by its nature, by its internal logic, what hyperglobalization demanded was the constant supply of cheap labor. Cheap migrant labor, by the way, that kept businesses' costs low, kept their profits high, and meant they didn't have to innovate, they didn't have to invest in.
You notice how he's commenting on that now and what the problem we are having with the migrants in this country. Yeah.
Improving training for their workers. They didn't have to improve their working practices and conditions because they could constantly rely on ongoing supplies of cheap labor. Deliveroo, Uber, Just Eat, these are the classic examples whereby workers have very few rights and they're essentially treated pretty badly. And you can see the dire effects this is having on our society. So cultural globalization really went hand in hand with economic globalization by saying we need mass uncontrolled migration. We need to liberalize borders. We need to basically remove border security. And all of this is to serve the interests of large global corporations who are basically in alliance.
Now you get that. Large global corporations. I mean, you know, he was making some really massively good points there. So, you know, hands down to the guy. But whoever your engineer is, Matt, they're crap. I'm telling you. You need people like Cheshire Matt is helping you out there, kiddo.
So it's not just the financial aspect, it's the culture, it's the demographics, and it's social cohesion. It's caused absolute, well, we know what it's caused.
Look at that. Do you remember somebody that used to do that with his pen?
What's his name?
It's the only way you can catch your eye.
I forget his name now.
So, here we go with the age-old question that I keep raising 1,000 times every time I'm out campaigning. So you've got all these immigrants flooding our shores.
Gimmiggrants, they're called. Gimmiggrants.
Gimmiggrants that are flooding our shores, and Labour let's save the gimmiggrants. Let's welcome the gimmiggrants.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Let's do that. Now, Matt Goodwin, Mr. Goodwin, he might, next time he sends me a friend's request, he might get on board now, because he's just said that all this is doing is bringing down the workers' rights. It's bringing down the workers' wages. If they're not happy working, then off you go. I can get another one on the next dinger, and there you go. So why, biggest question, why are Labour going along the lines of accepting all these migrants? Because that goes against all their unions' rules, objectives of when you are a union giant, when you are a union god, what you do is you make sure that your workers, you know, your wages are going higher. You look after all your workers, basically. You make sure that they get better quality of workplaces, etc., etc. Well, this is going backwards. So what are you doing about it, Labour?
Oh, they're doing themselves out of a job. That's what they're doing. I mean, because they're also
Starmer in charge.
Yeah, they're alienating the unions as well, because look at what they're doing. They're telling those people out in Birmingham, right? Over the bins, they're saying get your act together, and the unions are like, they're not happy about it, not happy
They've sacked
at all.
them, haven't they?
Yeah,
that's how it started. They've sacked all the bin men.
Yep.
I mean, it sounds a lot, but it's not actually, because I remember when it happened in Warrington. There's actually only 70 bin men in Warrington. I didn't know that at the time.
Only 70.
There's only 70 bin men in Warrington.
We could do it with 35. Come on, let's put in a bid.
Yeah, and I tell you what, and most of those were agency, because I know about 3 or 4 of them, and they're all agency.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many there is in total, but I mean, they're on about. They did initially sack all. They said, either go back to work or we sack you, and they said we ain't going back to work. So they was about sacking them, and then that's what caused all the problem.
Yeah. I get it. Well, they're attaching some sort of conditions to things, the Americans. Let's just have a listen to this. You ready?
A fella called Adam Smith Connor, who was criminally convicted for praying outside an abortion clinic. It's cost him thousands in legal fees and probably will bankrupt him. And he's been criminally convicted.
For praying?
For praying outside an abortion clinic. Technically, in parts of the country, it is illegal to pray. However, on October 8th, 2023, outside the Israel Embassy in Kensington in London, swarms of people went to the embassy. They were not just celebrating, they were not just chanting Allah Akbar, they were on their knees facing Mecca praying thanks. Those people were not sentenced.
But the Christian guy who was praying...
Christian guy praying inside his head, he has been criminally convicted. This is two-tier system. Richard Williams in Wales, sentenced to 3 months in prison for a derogatory Facebook post. In 2021, an entourage of cars driving around London, shouting, F the Jews, F their mothers, rape their daughters, on megaphones going around the Jewish part of North London. Nothing. No punishment.
Well, there you go. Now, that's freedom of speech in this country, and Trump has mentioned it in relation to the tariffs. And he said that, they're very worried about literally freedom of speech in this country. And he's linking it behind the scenes. Here's another one. Check this one out.
UK Prime Minister Starmer tries to strike a free trade deal with the US, and Trump says no, not without free speech. Starmer was attempting to avoid Trump's tariffs, but on Sunday night, the U.S. Department of State issued a statement saying it was concerned about freedom of expression in the United Kingdom.
She's not the only one.
Well, she's describing it and she's saying it, and that's what they're telling people over there in the news. A little bit more from her.
After a woman was recently arrested in the UK for silently praying near an abortion clinic. There was also a couple arrested in February of 2025 in the UK for critiquing their children's primary school on WhatsApp messages. The U.S. State Department said U.S.-UK relations share mutual respect for human rights and fundamental freedoms. However, as Vice President Vance said, we are concerned about freedom of expression in the United Kingdom. It is important that the UK respect and protect freedom of expression. Because in France, you can get fined 12,500 euros for critiquing Islam. In Germany, they will prosecute you for liking or sharing a post that says something negative about a politician or a public figure. We no longer share Europe's values because they don't protect the most basic thing of free speech. And they should be...
Well, there you go. That's from the horse's mouth, okay? And... we know that that's the case. I mean, because everybody remembers this one. You ready? There you go.
So this is going to be interesting. Is that Lucy Connolly? Is it?
Yeah, it is indeed.
I've got my glasses on. Well, there's a migrant who's about to get done for burning down 2 hotels. He better get a lot longer than she did, and she better get released. She just vented off on an
I've just seen something here. Oh, this is so funny. Look, we got Trevor on twice. He's trying to kick you out, Mark.
Oh, yeah. Oh, look at that.
I've just put you back on.
Be gone, demon.
Appreciate that, yeah. No, it's a fair point, though, because if this migrant doesn't get, like, a long time for setting fire to 2 hospitals, when she basically just said, set fire to hospitals for all I care.
Yeah.
I don't think she was saying go and set fire to them. No. It was more like set fire to them. I couldn't care less.
Yeah.
I can't remember what exact post was, but either way, it's nowhere as bad as actually torching 2. We're going to see, aren't we? What slap on the wrists he gets for arson.
So if
When's
he
that
is,
due, Matt? When's that coming?
I don't know. I was reading it before. I didn't get to finish the whole article, so
Well, that'll be interesting to keep our eye on that one.
Yeah.
Well, okay, and some of the breaking news that we should talk about before we start to begin to wrap up. What about this?
Another one. Alleged.
Why is it
alleged?
There's been, alleged. There's been over 50 Labour politicians who have been, tied up in this kind of thing, with allegations and suspicions, and some of them have been prosecuted. What does it tell you about our whole system in this country?
Well, it's telling us that the wokeness is twisting a little bit. Because remember the 70s and the 80s, I remember it clearly. It used to always be conservative MPs, didn't it?
Oh,
He used to be spanking little boys and having male prostitutes and all that. Like, they seem to have changed.
Oh, yes.
They've changed to have changed the gender a little bit these days.
Well, this guy was trained by the NSPCC.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. No, I think he's a director of the NSPCC.
No, he was trained. Like That's how he started. That was his first job. I'm pretty sure.
Well, I mean, they've obviously had a check on him, or have they obviously had a check on him?
So it's all, I don't know. I think a lot of the things problems that we're suffering from in this country, you can link them to trade in the way that Matt Goodwin was doing it there. You can link it to trade and the way that we're going. And I don't think Starmer is making any friends over in the States. I mean, we know he's not making any friends in the UK.
Do you know what makes me angry?
Go on.
We did a podcast last week where, Mandy Clare was being blamed for all the ills in the world.
Yes.
She's trying to fight for children.
Yeah.
Yet none of these people will ever tackle all these nonsense and, well, innocent until proven guilty with this guy. But the rest of them, they never tackle any of this.
No.
They run a mile from all that when it's on their own side and just witch hunt people for trying to do good. Do you know what? They make me sick, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, to be honest. I agree with
you.
you.
It makes you wonder how many are involved in it, Mark.
Yeah.
It's way more than we think. Look,
Of
Andrew
course it is.
Bridgen's gone to MI5, he says, and given them information of how they're bringing kids into the country on planes and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, if they're running a mile from it, why are they running a mile from it?
Yes, because it runs deep within the establishment. I mean, you couldn't get any closer to kids than you can being part of the NSPCC. And he was also a teacher.
Wasn't there another MP who's been suspended for something months ago, but no one's been told what it is?
Nick Brown. Nick Brown it is. And we've not, I don't think he's any longer.
That was years ago, Nick Brown. That was about 3 years ago.
He's no longer an MP, I don't think. But nothing ever came out about what was going on with that guy. Nothing whatsoever. You know, so as far as I'm concerned, it's disappeared. You know, and this is what I don't like. I mean, I'm not so certain that any political party is interested in the people of this country. I can't see it. I mean, I don't even see it with reform either. I'm a bit surprised, you know, at the way that they've attacked Rupert Lowe. They've even turned round and said, you know, they're inferring that he's got some form of dementia. The guy hasn't got any dementia whatsoever.
He's way more clued up than all of them put together.
Of course he is.
That's why.
You know,
scared of him, aren't they?
Yeah,
well, I mean, that's a massive thing going on at the minute, isn't it? And I can't see that clearing up.
No, and Tice is, I don't know, he's far too smarmy about the whole thing. You know, he was asked by Camilla Tominey about it, and he said, well, you have to go ask Rupert about that, won't you?
Yeah. The look on his face.
I know.
Yeah, but have you seen how he smiles all the time?
Yeah.
He's smirking all the time. He's got a permanent smirk on his face.
Most
ask
of
him a question, and it just, I don't know, he's just like a very,
smarmy.
Not only smarmy. I think I don't know how to word it. It just belittles the person questioning him. It's just a way of. I don't know how to word it. I don't like it. Just don't like what he's doing at all.
I thought a new movement like reform and stuff, as well as all the other things people believe it stands for, I thought it might have been, you know, a new beginning with politicians who were a little bit different.
Yeah.
Who were just going to sit there and just talk openly, just talk like we would, and not put on an act and not.
But they did,
questions, and it's just turned into the same old.
Yeah, they did originally.
They did. It did.
They did originally. That's what interested me in them. They did do that. Yeah. And now you've got Farage backtracking on immigration like nobody's business. Now we're not going to, deport him. No, that's not going to happen. We could never do that. Well, he did say that.
Well, they are absolutely destroying the culture in this country, the politicians. You know, none of them are any good. I mean, I don't even know why anybody calls the glib dumbs, a political party. They're a bunch of clowns. We need something. We need a Trump in this country now, and Starmer is trying to imitate him now and trying to mimic all the things that he's saying. So, all right.
If you need a Trump, mate, just mute yourself for a second. Be all right. We'll cover you. Sorry,
don't worry about
childish one there, but
It ain't about childish ones.
Actually, mute yourself a bit longer.
Yeah, the childish ones. As you know, I went to see T-Rex last night.
Yes, I was going to put the video up of that, but I thought it might have been a few strikes.
No, I don't think so, because they're just a tribute band, aren't they? So I don't think.
No, it's not. It's the music. It's the music that would have got us the strikes. I would have been sure of that.
Right, I'm with you. Yeah, well, I've put it all over Facebook, and I've not heard it. But anyway, there we go. Because they normally took it out, and it's one for the children tonight, actually, because most people think that. No, but T-Rexes. That's why I mentioned T-Rex, because them T-Rex. You remember the dinosaurs? Because this is for the kiddies. This one. You know the dinosaurs when they got them little arms, them T-Rexes. Remember them? Well, what is it?
I know what's careful now.
No, I'm careful. No, I'm not going anywhere with this, because what it is people think that they can't clap because you've got little hands. See, that's all it is. Nothing in it. They can't clap because you've got little hands. Well, it's not. That's not true. That they can't clap because they're dead. So that's one for the kids. Just to, because it's no good kidding them. You've got to tell them straight. That's what I say.
Yeah, they're dead. They're dead. Just like you were going to be.
I went round to my friend's house today, and she said, "Make yourself at home," so I threw it out. Don't like visitors. That upset her. That was another one.
You could have then offered to let her come and stay, pay your rent.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, she's always looking at it, but anyway, she wasn't.
We can't. We'll get accused of being misogynistic.
I know, yeah, and then we'll be what are we? Anti-dinosaurs. They'll have something for that. No,
it'll be ageist. You're ageist. You're misogynistic. You know,
yeah,
and there's not enough diversity. So one of you have got to paint yourself orange.
I'll identify as a woman till the end of the show.
Well, we might as well go down as sexist then, haven't we? Because a man gets home and he tells his wife, "Get me a beer before it starts."
I
drinks it.
I saw two women in the supermarket again, and I said,
"What, the same two?"
No, it's
these
different,
all the time, don't
different supermarket. And I turned around and I said to him, "That looks like, a witches' meeting there." And he went, I said, I see that in my own household. I call them the bitches of Beastwick. When the three women get together.
Any supermarkets, to be honest? Did you go into different supermarkets because you've been barred? Previously?
Probably.
Upsetting all the staff.
And when they they turned around and they said you live a dangerous life, and I said, yeah, that's right. I said, well, the first danger is waking up in the morning and wondering what personality they're coming up with when they're going out to work.
If you get barred from all of them and you're only left with Marks and Spencer's, that's going to cost you.
It's going to cost.
Marks and Spencer's
about what you're doing. Yeah.
Or
I'll finish off anyway. So this man gets home, he tells his wife, "Get me a beer." That was it. It was on about.
Oh, sorry, I thought you'd finished.
Yeah, I thought you'd finished.
No, before it starts, and he drinks it, and he says, "Quick, get me another one before it starts." Again, she gets up, comes across, gets him a drink, gives him. Drinks it again. She said, "Get me another one before it starts." She said, "Listen, you. Yeah, get home, you lazy fat get. You walk in, you sit down, you start barking your bleeding orders." He says, "It started." Obvious.
All right. Well, okay. We've had a rant. We've had a rant on about what's going on with the tariffs, and we've had some different parts of the discussion brought up from reaction videos. So say goodnight, peoples. Say goodnight. We've been on long enough.
Yeah, we have. It's time to go in it. And don't forget, chaps, just behave. And if you can't behave, just don't get caught. That's all I say. And not about tariffs. My water's gone up an extra 3 pence. See it there? That's got to stop, and that's down to Trump.
There's nothing wrong.
Oh, Trump's fault, isn't it?
Well, I'd like to thank the people. I want to thank the people that have tuned in and are listening, and thank you very much. Okay, we do appreciate it. Thanks very much. Anyway,
we certainly do, and don't forget to like it. If you're over on YouTube, of course, you can like it and subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe.
Indeed.
Because we want some subscribers. I'd love a subscriber. Loads of them.
Right, like as many as on your OnlyFans.
Yeah, you can just brag about it, because I brag about that in the pub. Not that I go to the pub that often these days, but I do. When I go to the pub, they all say, "How many have you got now, Trev?" And I tell them.
I'll put the price up, mate, on OnlyFans, with these tariffs and that.
Yeah.
Don't miss an opportunity. Do you know what? I'd like to say thanks to the Americans, actually, for, you know what? Putting themselves first. Maybe this will catch on, I mean, Starmer's pretending he's going to do it, but...
Nah,
well, Starmer will be gone by the time it catches on. Don't worry about that, Mark. He'll be well gone by then.
Okay, well, that's it. I'm cutting off there. I'm ending.